better why David was filled with thanksgiving.
我们现在看同样的撒母耳记下第7章
Please continue reading 2 Samuel chapter 7.
撒母耳记下第7章的18节。
Let's read verse 18. Verse 18 of chapter 7. Then King David went in and sat before the Lord, and he said, Who am I, O Lord God? And what is my house that you have brought me this far?
这个地方大卫对自己在神面前对自己说：“我是谁呀？”
David spoke concerning himself before the Lord. Who am I, O Lord God?
我的家算什么？
And what is my house
你竟然使我到这个地步
that you have brought me this far?
那到19节
19.
主啊，这在你眼中还算为小吗？又应许你仆人的家至于久远。
And yet this was a small thing in your sight, O Lord God, and you have also spoken of your servant's house for a great while to come.
主啊，这岂是人所常遇的事吗？
Is this the manner of man, O Lord God?
当一个人越觉得自己很卑微的时候，人就会越感觉到我们一切所有都是神给的。
The more a person thinks that he is minute and humble, the more he will feel that everything he has is from the Lord.
虽然他已经是王了，他还是觉得他真的是不配，他很卑微，他的家世也很卑微。
Even though David was the king, he felt that he was very undeserving and that he was nothing, and his house was nothing.
如果我们看那个尼布甲尼撒王在讲话，
If we look at the words of Nebuchadnezzar,
他就不会有这样的感觉了。
we see that he had a very different attitude.
这不是凭着我的大能力建设的吗？
He said, Is this not established by my own might?
所以在他的心里面想，可能我遇到好机会，我有能力，我敢拼，所以今天我有成就。
He felt that his success was because of his good fortune and because of his effort and power.
所以在他的讲话里面都是以我为中心。
So Nebuchadnezzar's words were very self-centered.
好像这个世界是他打造出来的。
It sounded as if he was the one who made the whole world.
所以大卫也觉得自己很渺小。
David, on the other hand, felt that he was so minute.
21节
Verse 21. For your word's sake and according to your own heart, you have done all these great things to make your servant know them.
22节说：“主啊，你本为大因我们耳中听见的没有可以比你的，除你以外再没有别的神。”
22. Therefore you are great, O Lord God, for there is none like you, nor is there any God besides you, according to all that we have heard with our ears.
所以他感觉到神非常的伟大。
He deeply felt God's greatness
自己非常的渺小。
and his own smallness.
所以圣经告诉我们，我们有哪一样不是领受的呢？
So the Bible asks us, what is it that we have that we did not receive?
什么都是领受的。
We have received everything we own.
生命是神给的，
Our life is from God.
才能是神给的。
Our riches are from
我
God.
们有一切都是神给的。
Everything we have is from God.
所以，如果我们能够数得出来我有什么，
If we're able to number the things we have,
那这个都是神的恩典。
then we can only say that all of them are because of God's grace.
所以从外在大卫受到恩典，从内心的深处感觉到自己的不配跟神的伟大。
Externally, David realized how much he had received from God, and internally he felt how unworthy he was and how great God was.
所以他对神充满着感谢，要为神来建殿。
Because of these reasons, he felt very grateful to God and wanted to build a house for the Lord.
那当然，后来他没有为神建殿，因为神说他流过血
Later on, he was not able to build a house for the Lord because the Lord told him that he had shed too much blood.
但是他有愿意为神做一些事的这个心呢，就蒙神悦纳。
But the Lord was pleased with his intention or desire to do something for the Lord.
所以我们有感恩的心，不一定我们能够为神做什么大事。
So even though we may be thankful to God, that doesn't mean that we may necessarily be able to accomplish a lot for Him.
我们看哥林多后书第8章。
Please turn to 2 Corinthians chapter 8.
哥林多后书的第8章。
2 Corinthians chapter 8.
12节，请。
Verse 12. 2 Corinthians 8, verse 12. For if there is a willing mind, if there is first a willing mind, it is accepted according to what one has, and not according to what he does not have.
好，这里说有愿做的心呢，神就悦纳。
If we have a willing mind, it is accepted.
我们的心呢，很关心神，想要为他做一些事，这样的心呢，这样的感谢的心，就是灵祭，就是神所悦纳。
If we have concern for the things of God and want to do something for God, that itself is a sacrifice that is pleasing to God.
那到底我们能够真的为神做多少呢？
And as to exactly how much we can give to God.
下面说，照着我们所有的，不是照着我们所无的。
The verse says, according to what one has and not according to what he does not have.
所以我们不要比较别人为神做了多少我一定要做跟他一样多，我才叫做感恩。
So we don't need to compare with others and think, oh, just because this person has done so much, I must do more in order to show my gratitude.
是照我们所有的，不是照我们所没有的。
It should be according to what we have, not according to what we don't have.
5000的领5000赚5000，这个就是他有的。
The one who received 5 talents earned another 5 talents, and that was according to what he had.
那2000的赚2000，
The one with the 2 talents earned 2 more,
这个就是他所有的。
according to what he was given.
但是没有办法比较，这个人赚5000，那个人赚2000。
And you can't compare the one who received the 5 talent and the one who received 2,
因为神给他的不一样。
because God had given them different amounts.
那有愿做的心，照我们做得到的范围来关心神，这样就是对的。
And as long as we have a willing mind and want to show concern for things of God, then that is acceptable.
所以这个大卫的感恩真的得神喜悦。
David's gratitude indeed was pleasing to the Lord.
好，所以我们回到撒母耳记下第7章。
Let's return to 2 Samuel chapter 7.
撒母耳记下的第7章。
2 Samuel chapter 7.
第7章的第10节。
Chapter 7, verse 10.
请
Verse 10. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. Nor shall the sons of wickedness oppress them any more as previously.
OK， 第10节开始如果我们看英文，都是用未来式。
Starting from verse 10, God uses the future tense.
然后第8、第9节就是讲过去式。
Whereas verses 8 and 9 are in the past
这
tense.
是神已经为他做的，也就是他所感恩的。
Namely, the things that the Lord has done for David, for which David was thankful for.
那现在神
thankful.
透过拿单先知就告诉他，我将来还会再为你做什么事。
But starting from verse 10, the Lord also said that he will continue to do more for David.
要给你一个地方栽培他们，
He will give him a place to establish the people,
不再迁移，
and that they shall not move anymore.
要看顾他们安静不混乱。
And he shall give them rest and peace.
到12节，
Verse 12.
要使他的王朝继续到他的儿子，一直是延续下去。
He will let his throne continue through his descendants.
14、15节，要使神的慈爱不离开他们。
And verses 14 and 15, God will not let his mercy depart from him.
16节，要永远坚立他们。
And verse 16, God will establish his throne forever.
所以神给他的真的是远远他想要为神做的。
So what God gave him in return was far greater than what David intended to do.
所以我们在世界上，如果遇到一个好人，你对他好，他一定会加倍的对你好。
If you meet a kind person in this world and you're kind to him, he will definitely be kind to you in return.
何况说神如果我们懂得对神好，懂得感谢神神给我们的一定是超过我们为他所做的。
How much more will God give us in return for what we intend to do for him?
那反过来讲如果我们得到神的恩典而没有感恩，
On the contrary, if after receiving God's blessings we are not grateful,
我们看哈该书
please turn to Haggai.
哈该书的第1章
Haggai chapter 1,
1章的第4节
Chapter 1, verse 4.
第3节
Verse 3. Verse 3. Then the word of the Lord came by Haggai the prophet, saying, verse 4, Is it time for you yourselves to dwell in your paneled houses, and this temple to lie in ruins?
这个地方神就借着先知说，殿还荒凉，你们住天花板的房子吗？
So through the prophet Haggai, the Lord said, is it time for you to dwell in panel houses and let this temple lie in ruins?
所以这个地方跟大卫的就反过来了。
This attitude is very different from that of David.
自己住得很好，但是殿荒凉。
These people lived very well, but let God's temple be in ruins.
但是他说时候还没有到。
And their reason was that the time has not come.
那到第6节
Verse 6.
撒的种多，收的少，吃不得饱，喝却不得足，最后得工价装在破落的囊中。
You have so much and bring in little. You eat and do not have enough. You drink and not filled with drink. And finally, he who earns wages to put in the bag with holes.
所以如果我们不懂得感恩对神的事情没有关心，有时候神给我们的恩典，我们都没有办法享受。
If we're not grateful to God and do not show concern for the things of God, then sometimes we won't even get to enjoy the things we have earned.
甚至我们所得到的也会流失了。
What we may receive may eventually be lost.
所以撒母耳记下第7章，我们可以看到大卫的感恩，对神的感恩。
Therefore, from 2 Samuel chapter 7, it is evident that David was very grateful to the Lord.
我们先来看撒母耳记下第9章。
Please now turn to 2 Samuel chapter 9.
撒母耳记下第9章现在是大卫对人的感恩。
Chapter 9 of 2 Samuel records how David was grateful to other human beings.
我们看第9章的第1节到第3节。
Let's read 2 Samuel chapter 9 verses 1 to 3. Now David said, Is there still anyone who is left of the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake too? And there was a servant of the house of Saul whose name was Ziba. And when they had called him to David, the king said to him, Are you Ziba? He said, At your service. 3. Then the king said, Is there not still someone of the house of Saul to whom I may show the kindness of God? And Ziba said to the king, There is still a son of Jonathan who is lame in his feet.
这里说大卫在询问说约拿单还有没有剩下的人扫罗家还有没有剩下的人。
David inquired to see if anyone remained in the house of Saul.
然后我要因约拿单的缘故向他施恩。
Because he wanted to show kindness to this person for the sake of Jonathan.
他为什么会特别提到约拿单？
Why did he make special mention of Jonathan?
因为约拿单对大卫的恩典非常大。
It's because Jonathan has shown great kindness to David.
当扫罗想要杀大卫的时候，
When Saul was trying to kill David,
那个时候约拿单试着去了解他父亲是不是真的想要杀大卫。
Jonathan tried his best to understand whether his father meant what he said.
等他真的了解了，
And when he found out the truth,
他就想办法安排让大卫逃走。
Jonathan made arrangements for David to escape.
而且在逃走的过程当中，
And in the process of letting him escape,
约拿单到旷野去看那个很落魄的大卫。
Jonathan went out into the wilderness to see David, who was in a very deplorable state.
我们看撒母耳记上的第20章。
Please turn to 1 Samuel chapter 20.
撒母耳记上20章。
1 Samuel chapter 20.
13节
Verse 13.
到15节。
To verse 15. 1 Samuel 20:13. May the Lord do so and much more to Jonathan, But if it pleases my father to do you evil, then I will report it to you and send you away, that you may go in safety. And the Lord be with you, as he has been with my father. 14. You shall not only show me the kindness of the Lord while I still live, that I may not die. 15. But you shall not cut off your kindness from my house forever. No, not when the Lord has cut off every one of the enemies of David from the face of the earth.
这里在讲约拿单跟大卫在谈话。
This was David's conversation with Jonathan.
他要了解他爸爸的意思，再告诉大卫。
Jonathan was going to find out his father's intention and report it back to David.
其实，在前面约拿单已经跟他爸爸讲了，
Even prior to this, Jonathan had told his father
说你要杀大卫不对的，
that it was wrong for Saul to kill David
因为他也没有做什么不对的事情，
because David had done nothing wrong,
你这样做会得罪神。
and doing so would only offend God.
其实约拿单跟他爸爸这个是亲情。
Jonathan's relationship with his father was that of father and son.
约拿单跟大卫是友情。
Whereas Jonathan's relationship with David was that of a friendship.
一般是亲情会强过友情。
Normally, blood ties are stronger than friendship.
而且如果约拿单继续下去，很有可能他会继承扫罗变成王。
If Saul's wish was carried out, then Jonathan would very likely be the next king.
因为他是长子。
Because Jonathan was the elder son.
但是约拿单确实是一个义人。
But Jonathan was indeed a just man.
他对他爸爸做的不对，他看得很清楚。
He was very clear about his father's wrong.
他知道神与大卫同在，他也看得很清楚。
And he was very clear about the fact that the Lord was with David.
所以他不顾他父亲的感觉，或者甚至生气来帮助大卫。
So, despite his father's anger and feelings, Jonathan helped David.
这个真的给大卫在患难中一个非常非常大的鼓励跟安慰。
So Jonathan's choices gave David much strength and comfort in David's time of great
我们
distress.
看撒母耳记上23章16节。
Let's read 1 Samuel chapter 23, verse 16. Chapter 23, verse 16. Then Jonathan, Saul's son, arose and went to David in the woods and strengthened his hand in God.
这里说他去见大卫，使他依靠神的心更加坚固。
Jonathan went to see David to strengthen his hand in God.
鼓励他说：“你不要怕。”
He encouraged him, saying, "Do not fear."
而且给他说：“你将来做宰相。”
He said, "You
这
shall
是
be."
我父亲知道的。
He said, "You shall be king over Israel, and I shall be next to you." Even my father Saul knows that.
所以我们可以看出来约拿单真的是对大卫非常好。
So it's obvious that Jonathan was very kind to David.
这个也告诉我们当我们有能力去帮助别人的时候，
This teaches us that when we have the ability to help others,
这是一种善行。
it is a kindness or a good deed that we should do.
那后来约拿单就找到了大卫的儿子米非波设。
Eventually, David found the remaining member of Jonathan's house, Mephibosheth.
我们回来看撒母耳记下第9章。
Please come back to 2 Samuel chapter 9.
第9章12节13节。
Let's read verses 12 and 13. 2 Samuel 9, verse 12. Mephibosheth had a young son whose name was Micah, and all who dwelt in the house of Ziba were servants of Mephibosheth. 13. So Mephibosheth dwelt in Jerusalem, for he ate continually at the king's table, and he was lame in both his feet.
这里说约拿单的2个腿都是瘸的。
Mephibosheth's feet were lame.
可能所以他行动可能不方便，连生活可能都有问题。
Not to mention the fact that he was disabled, he probably had a hard life.
他竟然只住在王宫，常常跟大卫一起吃饭。
But he was able to live in David's palace and ate continually at his table.
他一生受到大卫对他的礼待。
for the rest of his life, Mephibosheth received David's kindness.
所以这告诉我们大卫这一个人非常懂得感恩。
From this, we see how David was a very grateful person.
在马太福音里面说临续人的人有福了。
In Matthew, we're told that blessed are the merciful,
因为他们要蒙临续。
for they shall be shown mercy.
圣经说怜悯贫穷的，就是借给神了。
And the Bible also teaches us that those who have pity on the poor lend to the Lord.
要借给穷人很多人都会有犹豫啊。
Many people will hesitate to give to the poor, to lend to the poor.
有时候不是他不愿意偿还，他想还他没有钱。
Because even if the poor wants to return us the money, they may not have the ability to.
为什么？因为他生活都有困难。
Because they can't even earn a livelihood.
但是怜悯穷人就是借给神。
But those who have pity on the poor actually lend to the Lord.
那如果借给神，我们还忧虑什么？
Now, if we're lending to the Lord, why do we have to worry that the Lord will not pay us back?
就是表示神会还的。
The point is that God Himself will reward us.
所以怜悯人的会蒙怜悯。
That's why those who are merciful will be shown mercy.
那这个蒙怜悯的有两个，一个是得到人的怜悯，好像大卫怜悯那个米非波设。
And we will be shown a mercy in two ways. The first is from other people's kindness, just as David was kind to Mephibosheth.
那第二个怜悯就是从神的怜悯。
And the second kind of mercy is the mercy from God.
所以圣经里面讲一个有爱的人，他的祷告会更有功效。
The Bible tells us that a loving person, his prayer is very effective.
所以我们在这个世界上要把怜悯当作是恩典，当作是机会。
Therefore, we should consider being merciful to others as an opportunity from God.
因为我们不晓得在什么时候，或者我们的下一代会因为我们的怜悯得到怜悯。
Because we never know whether we ourselves or our children after us will be shown mercy because of our merciful deeds.
这是大卫的第二个，我们可以看到他的好处，他的优点。
This is the second example in which we can see David's virtue.
我们现在回来看撒母耳记下第10章。
Please read 2 Samuel chapter 10.
撒母耳记下的第10章
2 Samuel chapter 10,
第1节跟第2节。
verses 1 and 2. Chapter 10, verse 1. It happened after this that the king of the people of Ammon died, and Hanan, his son, reigned in his place too. Then David said, I will show kindness to Hanan, the son of Nahash, as his father showed kindness to me. So David sent by the hand of his servants to comfort him concerning his father, and David's servants came into the hand of the people of Ammon.
这段圣经其他圣经没有办法找到很详细的解释。
We don't have a detailed parallel account to this story.
我们只能够找到亚门人曾经变成扫罗的敌人。
All we know is that Ammonites had once been David's enemy,
扫罗
Saul's enemy.
那后来大卫在逃难的时候，很可能这个也去投靠这个亚门人。
It's very possible that when David was fleeing for his life, he went to the Ammonites for refuge
因为他是扫罗的敌人，
because David was Saul's enemy.
不是David这亚门人。
The Ammonites was was Saul's enemy.
所以大卫很自然会去投靠这个扫罗的敌人。
So it would be natural for David to seek refuge from the Ammonites.
那到第2节我要照哈嫩的父亲拿辖后代我的恩典，后代哈嫩。
David said, I will show kindness to Hanan, the son of Nahash, as his father showed kindness to me.
所以他的父亲拿辖死了。
Because Nahash, the father, had died.
所以大卫就差遣使者去安慰他。
David sent his servants to comfort his son.
然后他就打算照他父亲给他的这个厚恩这样来厚待他的儿子。
He wanted to show kindness to the son, just as the father had shown David kindness.
所以我们看到大卫本身虽然他在神的祝福下这样一直在高升，而且繁荣昌盛。
Even though David continued to be on the rise because of God's blessings.
他对他好的，好像最好的朋友约拿单，他不忘记他的情。
He never forgot to show kindness to people who had shown him kindness before, such as Jonathan.
甚至连扫罗的敌人曾经给他恩典，他也纪念他的恩情。
He even wanted to show kindness and remember the kindness of Saul's enemy, the Ammonites.
要厚待他们。
He wanted to show them kindness in return.
所以大卫心里面对人充满，对神对人充满着感恩。
We can see from these incidents how David was filled with gratitude to God as well as to
这
others.
个就是我们今天需要学习的。
And these are lessons for us to learn from.
天天过着感恩的生活。
To be thankful and grateful every day.
这是神所喜悦的。
And this is pleasing to God.
这也会让我们得到神更大的福气。
And we will be blessed even more if we do so.
好，我们来唱诗。
Let's sing a hymn.
491。
491.
我们最后祷告就唱这个副歌。
And we'll sing this chorus